You need to know about a particular human resource management topic. In today's HR Basics, we define human resource management with a simple model. Before we explore the model, let's define human resource management. Human resource management comprise the formal systems designed to manage people in organizations. To best understand human resource management, we'll take a look at brief history, understand the roles of human resource management in organizations, and review a model to best organize the functional areas of HR management. What is now called human resource management has evolved a great deal since its beginnings around the year 1900. Here's a brief history of human resource management. It's believed that the first personnel management department began at the National Cash Register Company in the early 1900s. Personnel departments, which is merged, is clearly defined in the 1920s, at least in the United States, were largely concerned with technical functions. What began as a primarily clerical operation in large companies concerned with payroll and employee records began to face changes with social legislation of the 1960s. HRM developed in response to increase in competition experienced by the late 1970s as a result of deregulation and rapid technological change. In the 1990s, globalization and competition required human resource departments to become more concerned with costs, planning, and the implications of various HR strategies for both organizations and their employees. The role of human resource management professionals has dramatically evolved over the years. This course provides an overview of the past and future roles of human resource management professionals in organizations. If an organization has a formal HR group, perhaps an HR department, there are typically three different roles that group might play in an organization. Which of the roles predominates, or whether all three roles are performed, depends highly on what management wants HR to do and what competencies HR staff have demonstrated. The potential mix of roles is shown here. The primary role is strategic, which helps define business strategy relative to human capital and its contribution to organizational results. The strategic role helps link human resource strategy with organizational mission and of the work of people in the organization. The operational and employee advocate role manages most HR activities in keeping with organizational strategy and serving as an employee champion to balance the issues of employees and employer. And finally, the administrative role, which focuses on clerical administration and record keeping, including essential legal paperwork, compliance, and policy implementation. Human resource management has played an important role in the life of organizations throughout modern history. In the past role of human resource management, the personnel function was highly administrative and clerical in nature, as you see in this right-hand side of the model labeled the past role. The past role focused on transactional activities related to processing of people-related activities, such as payroll. A heavy emphasis on compliance led to the personnel function policing policy and procedure, which left little time for the important strategic role. The present role, as seen on the left here, of human resource management has evolved to focus on the strategic contributions of human resource management to organizations. As organizations strive to realize their greater results, the critical role of people is recognized by the strategic role of human resource professionals to provide technical expertise, champion employees, and lead strategically in their organizations. Human resource management is a value-added function of the organization influencing key organizational outcomes. Now, let's explore a simple human resource management model. The pinwheel model suggests that the management of human resources in an organization centers on 8 key functional areas. These functions are a collection of specialized human resource management work. For each functional area, human resource professionals are responsible for key activities. You can see them in the boxes around the model. Let's define each functional area and discuss those associated activities. Human resource strategy and planning identifies and manages current and future needs to achieve organizational goals. The activities of strategy and planning include analysis, planning, effectiveness, metrics, and technology. Compliance is doing what is asked or required by federal, state, and local governments in the management of people. The activities of compliance include equal employment opportunity, compliance with federal, state, and local employment laws and regulations. Talent management are the integrated processes to attract, motivate, and retain productive and engaged employees. These activities of talent management include recruitment, talent acquisition, selection, interviewing, and onboarding. Training and development is about the betterment of people and performance through information they will use. The activities of training and development include training, development, career planning, and so on. Performance management are the processes to ensure the organization connects mission with the work of employees. The activities of performance management include performance appraisal, improvement, and intervention. Total rewards are the financial and non-financial tools used to attract, motivate, and retain employees. The activities of total rewards include compensation, benefits, recognition, and work-life effectiveness. Employee safety and health is about ensuring the safety, health, and welfare of people at work. The activities of safety and health include employee safety, security, and workers' compensation. Employee and labor relations focuses on the relationship of employees with the organization and with each other. The activities of employee and labor relations include policy management, documentation, workplace investigations, labor relations, and employee rights. This human resource management model, along with our brief history, should give you the context to best understand and apply the important role of human resource management.
Welcome back. This is the first video in Lesson 2. The objective of Lesson 2 is to convey an understanding that there are different ways of managing human resources. The first step is to make sure that everybody has a basic understanding of the key functions of human resources, HR. Welcome to my animation on the basics of human resources. Suppose somebody has an idea for a product or a service, maybe a new line of kites. So in order to make and sell these kites, we need some materials like nylon fabric, string, some carbon fiber rods. But these inanimate objects aren't going to make anything on their own. How will the kites get constructed? We need people. How to market and sell them? We need people. How to collect revenue and pay expenses? We need people. How to deploy these people? We need more people. So human resources is critical to any organization. The first HR task is to figure out what work needs to be done and how to break this work into effective jobs. So we can start with a workflow analysis to determine the business processes that need to be completed. Then HR does a job analysis to figure out how to construct jobs to complete these required business processes. Suppose there are some production tasks like measuring and cutting. Maybe there's some business tasks that need to be completed in terms of accounting or inventory management or accounts receivable. And so we need to figure out these tasks and then put them into sensible jobs. So maybe in this small organization we put these production tasks together into jobs and these business tasks together into a job. But now we need people for these jobs. So the next HR function is recruitment and selection. You need to advertise these jobs, get job applicants, interview the applicants, figure out who has the skills and the aptitude for these jobs and who's going to be a good fit with the organization. Once employees are hired, then you need an orientation program to onboard them, integrate them into the team, make sure they're fitting into the organization and they know what their tasks are and how to get things done in an appropriate way, consistent with the organization's values. Once people are part of the team, their performance needs to be managed. So you need to evaluate and assess what they're contributing, give them direction. Are they engaged? Are they motivated? Are they doing the correct things? Also, do they have the needed skills and the needed skills to advance? Do they have career development goals within the organization? So another key HR task is training and development. Employees need to be trained. This can take all different kinds. Wait a minute, not that kind of training. Yes, this kind of training. Employees can be trained in different ways: formal classroom type training, informal on-the-job training. Employees also need to be paid, rewarded, provided with benefits. So some of this might seem functional in terms of making sure people get a paycheck, but of course it's a lot more complicated than that, thinking about how money might provide an incentive, but also don't limit your thinking to rewards only being monetary. There's a number of reward and recognition programs that HR can lead in an organization. Do all of this successfully, and this idea or dream can be a reality, and you can create good products and services that the market will value. Now, there's also some specialized HR roles that also take place in organizations, need to pay attention to health and safety, make sure that employees have the appropriate tools and safety practices, make sure it's a healthy work environment, which includes stress as well as physical threats to safety and health. Also need to manage diversity, make sure that diverse individuals are being recruited and managed and your organization is free of discrimination. Sometimes employees might choose to unionize, so labor relations is another important function of human resources. And there's also human resources information system, using data and metrics to try to guide the organization. But HR doesn't stop here. It should continue to reassess how business is done, how jobs are structured, what's the nature of tasks within the organization. Looking at this is called organizational development. And so the cycle of human resources continues through making sure you have correct individuals who are motivated, engaged, and their performance is managed correctly, and they're rewarded and compensated in appropriate ways. Now you should have a basic understanding of the key HR tasks in any organization. And this should reinforce the conclusions from the previous video that managing human resources is important, strategic, complex, challenging, and anything but boring. But there are different ways of managing human resources in a particular organization, and that will be the focus of the remaining 3 videos in this lesson.